So the first item on the agenda is Tom West's opportunity to discuss the revised Project 1, the CASF grant application by North Bay North Coast Broadband Consortium and Hunter Communications. Are you ready to give an overview, Tom, and answer questions?
Do you have him muted on your end, Jeff?
Do I? I'll find him, I'm sorry. Bear with me. I am not, I can pin or I can chat, but I can't. Anyone?
Yeah, it's on, it looks like it's on your end, Tom.
I'm operating two computers. One is the host over there and one is me here. So it's possible that I have controls that are out of my reach.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can. I'm glad that wasn't me. Thank you, Tom.
Okay. This is brief. Originally, we a grant application on April 1 for what was then termed Project 1. And when the CPC decided they were going to delay the application date, we determined to, until May 4th, we determined to bundle Project 3 with Project 1, and we resubmitted that project, which was for $194 million. Subsequently, there was very little communications coming back from the CASF, and by mid-July, we determined that we needed to send a resubmission of a lesser amount. And Supervisor Williams did an intervention with the commission, and subsequently, after his phone call, we received a call and said, please reset, but do it quickly. So we split Project 1 and 3, not precisely how we had done it before, but we resubmitted on August 7th, Project 1 for $158 million. That project is now being reviewed, and Keith Grunberg, who is the Hunter lead, they're the applicant, and that's who the CASF will interface with, has started that dialogue. They've had a series of questions that have been raised with Hunter. Hunter has responded to those. None of those have been substituted, and we're in the process as best I can tell. Hopefully there will be some resolution to that application within the next 4 to 6 weeks. There are two issues that we're confronted with here. One, originally there were 5 challenges. Based on our own assessment, none of the challenges were, but we do not know how the CAS staff is reading them. The unofficial kinds of feedback are that some may be accepted and some may not, but we don't know what that means. The second issue is more problematic, and that is the pool of funds under CASF is not significant. It's only maybe $200 million. So with 54 applications at $1,500, of course, because of our downplay, so it's now probably around $400 million. The question becomes, can they fund our project to the exclusion of others? So it may be that once again, Hunter will be asked to slice that project. We're hopeful of getting something approved. I can't tell you the magnitude of it. I'm just hopeful that we'll have something approved to proceed. Now, that's where we are on Project 1. On Project 2 and 3, the planning team has engaged through the grant, which really represents myself, Calvin Sain, both volunteering for this. And then we have two consultants that are outside consultants, a fellow named Mitch Drake and Victor Broad. And then of course, Jeff is involved heavily as well. And they're getting paid some, but not nearly as much as they're putting in. So our goal is to have a project plan for 2 and for 3 by October 15th. It doesn't mean there will be anywhere to go get any money, but the county will have a complete set of project plans, unserved areas in Mendocino County as of October 15th. That's our game plan at the moment. That's my report.
Thank you, Tom. So I could open it up to questions. I'd like to point out that Tom has been diligently sending emails that update just about every member in attendance in this meeting with details on a twice monthly basis. So it's all documented in the email with updates for the reports, but I appreciate the verbal report. And with that, I'll open it up to questions. Any board members or community members wish to get some clarity on some of those details?
Let me add a couple things. If there are questions, maybe those will spur one. Is when we do projects 2 and 3, we are going to end up back in 2016. The team that led the county at that time, Trish Steele and others, came up with a design of what we county backbone. Well, when we in projects 2 and 3, we are going to pretty much have that backbone articulated in those projects. So when you see the map, hopefully in more clarity within weeks we're talking about. The other issue that we'll be facing is the whole issue of coming down Route 1 and the permitting associated with that, particularly with the Coastal Commission. Our game plan is based on underground fiber, so we're going to proceed with that as the base of the project plans. But as soon as we articulate those, we want to be able to have the kinds of meetings with the various Caltrans, the Coastal Commission, the county, and any other agency to determine whether or not what we're proposing, particularly on Route 1, is going to fly.
Thanks again, Tom. Has that spurred any questions? Hearing none, we'll go.
I'll say, not a question, just a comment and a thank you to Tom for continuing to carry the banner. It's got to be such a frustrating process for you. And I, for one, appreciate your insight and just perseverance trying to get us connected.
Well, it's keeping me alive. That's the main thing.
Well,
you know, and Jeff, if I hope Tom calls me and I have the pleasure of calling everybody up and we meet at our coastal office and figure out a way how to get that line in the ground on Highway 1, that would be exciting for me to set up those meetings and get everybody on board.
Okay, we'll take you up on that, Brent. Thank you.
And Julia Ackerkrog, who's our chief planner, worked that office for 5 years and knows the Coastal Commission very well, their staff, and we'll be glad to set up those meetings.
Okay,
appreciate that.
We'll work that through Jeff, and
Yeah.
Jeff is our lead person there, the go-between. I also want to say I very much appreciate the kind of support that Supervisor Williams and have provided, and particularly want to thank Ted Williams for the intervention with the PUC. I think that got them moving here in the last few weeks. So keep your fingers crossed. Let's hope for the very best for Mendocino County.
Todd, do you think you'll hear something? Was it November?
Well, that's their target. The CASF staff is overworked and understaffed. They had anticipated maybe 12 to 20 applications and they got 54. Well, you know, you can imagine what the strain is on their staff to that. You know, to 54 applications.
This is Mike Nichols. I'd like to circle back and say having fiber installed on Highway 1 is not impossible. We installed about 20 miles of fiber on Highway 1 back in 2014. So it can be done.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Thanks again, Tom.